guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made, your way.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
And hello, curling fans, and welcome to the Saville Community Sports Center. It's the Saville Mixed Doubles Classic here on Curling Stadium. We have this matchup between Laura Walker and Kirk Muyres, and Sarah Yarmuch and Peter Hlushak. Yarmuch and Hlushak are throwing the red stones. Walker and Muyres have the yellow. I'm Dave Schmel, and I'm joined by Sean Joyce. And Sean, third draw already this spiel.
Yeah, third draw, getting at it quick. We're a little bit early starting here again. It is everything in doubles comes at you quick, including the start time, apparently.
I think nobody will complain against that. And there's your first look at the new look Kirk Muyres with the mustache.
He's got the hair's a little longer than the last. And I mean, Kirky's a Saskatchewan boy. I see him. It seems like a lot, but it's been a while. He hasn't played four players for a while.
Yeah, the hair is longer. Looks like he's bringing back the mustache and the mullet both at the same time. And this one tight to the guard, and they do get, they just wick it, but still works out.
Yeah, not ideal, but it could have been a lot worse. This has been one of the better teams in mixed doubles play in the nation here for a couple of years now. They've been in the running for national titles. I think I do recall, I do believe they went to Worlds once, and they were right there towards the end of the Olympic trials last year, but still playing this year. That was one of the things we didn't know what was going to happen in mixed doubles this year. Our Olympic representatives for Canada already determined, so it was hard to know how many teams were actually going to play in the events. We have seen a couple of the top teams still playing, still chasing. They must be enjoying the sport, but a lot of young teams here at this event in Edmonton, and you can't go too far without seeing some of these U of A jackets. This is the second U of A team I've had today.
Yeah, first one for me today, but there's plenty of U of A here at the Saville Center for sure. Now, for those of you who have never seen my partner in the flesh, Sean boasts quite the beard and mustache. So I allow him to judge in all things facial hair. So here's Muyres.
Just straight heel. Guard, yep. "24 teams here in Edmonton playing in 6 pools of 4, and they're playing a round robin. So they'll play the 4 teams in a cross pool. These teams are in pools C and D. Interesting. Before we went on the air, you were trying to remember. We were trying to figure out the lineup here for the Yarmuch team, because there's 2 Yarmuchs in the field. probably sisters. This is Yarmuch playing with Hlushak. The other team, Yarmuch playing with Sawiak, is in Pool C. They will have to play against each other in round robin play at some point. They haven't yet, because I see both of those teams lost their opening games. So did Walker and Muyres. So when you're only playing 4 round robin games, this is getting into must-win territory for both of these teams. Try to make the playoffs.
They do put that guard back. And now it looks like Muyres is just going to try to throw the corner freeze or a little tap on the shot stone.
I would guess with that ice, he's trying to corner the shot stone. It almost looks like there's room that he could make the play on the stone at the top of the 8-foot and try to clip that one, but they're going to opt to play the draw.
Well, in doubles in particular, always a good idea to leave your rocks around.
Going to have to go to get this by. It doesn't have the weight.
It is just dying out there. So now an opportunity for the U of A squad here to put the foot on the gas.
Yeah, she's no, still
Peter's
I
turn.
lose
Oh, no.
lose track of who's throwing here. Yeah, like to get this in for second shot if they could around that guard. Now the guard is a long ways off the line, but there's plenty of movement. I will say the game that I just saw in draw 2, it did seem like if they got out wide enough, it would run out there for a while. They wouldn't necessarily get the same amount of finish, and she does have to go wide to get around this guard now.
Hlushak working it hard to drag it there.
Yeah, it's not
This
going to get
too
there.
is going to be light.
I expect they're coming off their own for 2 here. The angle's not bad on it. It's about a third.
Definitely worth a shot. So it'll be Laura Walker playing off her own onto the red shot rock. Hang around looking for 2.
Just judging from where Kirk's standing, I guess they're throwing the out turn at. I thought they might throw the in just because you get the gear effect. It's a third of a rock, though. I guess she doesn't need to throw it that hard. She only needs to move the second rock 2 feet.
Final stone of the first end. Laura Walker. Muyres just watching it. Now give it a
Off and
couple
on, it's
brush
close.
strokes. You're on it. Push it out. Over the top it goes. And they get their deuce. Great shot by Laura Walker. They're going to take a 2-0 lead. We'll be back from Edmonton right after this.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.
Hey Ben, what's the odds Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Welcome back to Edmonton. It was a great shot by Laura Walker to score
Bit of a
2
rock, though. I guess she doesn't need to throw it
in
that
the
hard. She only
first.
needs to move the second rock 2 feet.
Final stone of the first end. Laura Walker.
Kirk Muyres off and on a couple
Muyres
of times on
just
the brush, so
watching
you
it.
knew it was close.
Now give it a
Off and
couple
on, it's
brush
close.
strokes. You're on it. Push it out over the top. It goes, and they get their deuce. Great shot by.
For good measure, she even stayed buried. That would have that would have been a nice double at any point in the end. He stayed too buried under center.
Now here's Sarah's rock comes down.
Got the
Sells in
corner
just
freeze,
fine.
and she's got the pin. Yeah, that's a good opening stone.
So now we have the trade-off here. Kirk not happy with himself. Already shaking his head.
He was light on a draw on the first end. He threw a couple of hits before that, so you just wonder if he's lost the feel for draw weight after practice.
Well, from the looks of that, I would say yes.
Yeah, well, he might have wanted to keep sweeping that a little bit more bounce. At least you'd have both runbacks available. The center one's probably there, but the one he just threw is a little bit higher. So I don't know if you could run it back towards the shot stone without touching the other guard. Not that those would be your first choice to play anyway, but you'd like to keep them available.
So here's Hlushak. Sarah's working this one really hard. Now they got plenty of room past the guard. Just trying to get the perfect line and weight. Looks really good.
If it gets there.
Just a touch light, but in a good position just in terms of angles.
The out-turn draw is probably still there. They talked about, can he see enough of that red one to try to double the red's eye? I'm not sure he can. Can't quite see half. The run is available, and they talked about that too. Doesn't look like he's interested in playing the out-turn draw. Oh, he is.
Well, just because he's throwing it doesn't mean he's interested in playing it.
Well, they kept looking at the other ones, but
he wastes no time, gets in the hack and fires. All right, seems a little happier.
well, this will be a little bit wider path. That's curling, though.
Will he get around the guard?
He's light again.
And this one's light too.
Well, there's no out-turn draw there now.
Now, all three of the runs are available now.
Yeah.
And at least two of them.
They're a little risky to play, though, because with any one of them, you hit it just wrong. There's a chance you pick that yellow out of the back of the button. And with a bunch of reds sitting around, you can't really afford to lose that rock right now.
Oh, you give up a zillion.
I didn't see them point at what they were playing. They could try to tap their own red, or they could try to come around it. You really have to pick one, though. It's not an either or. That looks like the tap. It's just not far enough out for me to think he's coming by.
And they don't think it's far enough over for the tap, so Sarah's going to try to hop it over.
The worst thing you could do is chip Yeah, she changed at the end to just make sure she went by everything.
What's your thought on the hop sweep, Sean?
I can't imagine it does anything. The point to the directional sweeping is to get some downward pressure. If you're jumping, you have zero downward pressure while you're jumping up. And I just don't think it's adding that much as you're coming down. Plus, you've got to time it perfectly. If that's not your push stroke, if you're coming down on your pull stroke, you've still got nothing on the brush.
This one is way out wide. Will it be even be able to get it over the hog line?
No.
No. So Muyres is struggling a little bit here in the early going, at least with the draw weights.
This is really interesting. They're thinking about peeling some guards. I'd be more tempted to. And now they're looking at the run back. It's there's a lot less risk for Yarmuch and Hlushak to play this run back, because if you hit it right, all four reds stay.
I think it's a great shot to throw.
Well, and I mean, if it overcurls and you hit the two guards right in the middle, say for instance, it's not like you even open up much opportunity for your opposition. So there's not a lot of risk here and a whole lot of potential reward. Yellow onto the red in the 8-foot, onto the red in the button. That'll kill that yellow at the back corner of the button. You could be sitting 4 after this.
Needs this to curl up. It doesn't. Just peels it open a little bit. And where does that leave you now, Sean?
Well, I don't like the straight guard. Like Laura's looking at the straight guard. The problem is they're just going to run that back for 3. I think you have to come in.
Don't you just draw on top of it?
Yeah, you probably have to get slightly to the inside, or at least break them up, because you can't leave a squeeze to get both yellows out. Yeah, and this isn't about trying to steal, because I don't think there's any chance you're ever moving that red far enough to score one. But you have to get one bite in the 4-foot here just to not give up a huge end. They're looking at the guard, which is fine as long as they miss that run back, but they're going to play it. And if they make it, it's for 3. If you ever overcurl the guard, they don't even have to play the run back. So this looks a little on the tight side for ice.
All right, so here's Laura Walker. With their final stone of the second.
Plenty of rotation. That should hold it out there for a while, but that's curling.
Needs to keep on moving to.
Well, no, it needs to stop. It's going to leave the squeeze double. They indicated they were playing the guard. They did talk about coming in, but if they were coming in, that needed to curl another 6 inches.
So, as you see, they're pointing out there, you just hit. How much of that top yellow do you want to hit there, Sean?
With where they're at, you probably got to hit 3/4. It's not the way you'd necessarily want to play it, but I don't think they can get across the face far enough to double the yellows that way. So you're going to hit 3/4. As we look at the overhead, put it to slightly to the left side of that red. The red's just going to clip the yellow behind it. Both yellows go. You still you're probably losing one red. The red of the button is going to come back and jam onto the one of those reds behind it. That one probably leaves. Maybe not. Depends on the weight. You're probably keeping your shooter if you're making this shot. So it's likely for 3, and I guess there's a chance it could stay for 4.
So Sarah Yarmuch looking for a shot for a big end here. Got plenty of weight.
Yes, got to get
Certainly
close to
needs
the
to
nose.
curl. This is outside, way outside, and they're only going to get a single point out of it. Big opportunity missed there. Walker and Muyres will have the hammer in 3 when we come back.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Welcome back to the Saville Center. It's a 2-1 lead for Laura Walker and Kirk Muyres. And just a missed opportunity there last end, Sean.
Yeah, they had some good pressure on and did have an opportunity with the last one. Could have picked up 3 or maybe even 4. And the takeout just ran a little too straight for them. Didn't even make contact. Well, just barely made contact with the one they were trying to hit, but didn't make contact with the stone they were trying to raise it onto.
And they have the hammer back again now.
You have to feel like this young team needs to take advantage while Kirk Muyres is having his struggles early in this game.
Yeah, definitely has been a struggle for Muyres in the early going, especially with the draw weight. Could be aerodynamic drag from the extra hair.
Well, that wouldn't explain why this one's short.
So here comes Kirk.
Yeah, needs to get down to it this time. Hard to say who shot right now. If he gets right down to the red, he wouldn't have to jiggle it very far to sit too.
I'm thinking it's one yellow right now, and this one does put on the blinker. Can they carve it over enough? Nope, this is just a little bit too far out there wide.
Yeah, definitely room to get to the inside of that and chisel in a bit. You move that just a couple of inches, roll to the inside of it, and you're going to be sitting in front of a wall of 3 rocks that you could have them pretty close to even. And you'd be sitting at least one. And I think it's debatable who's shot rock right now. Could be sitting 2 after you make this.
That would be the easiest way to end the debate. So Peter Stone is on the way.
Certainly curling harder than Kirk's did. Line's coming in real nice.
This is going to be really good. It does a little doink there, and they certainly lie to now.
Yeah, you might have to blast that yellow sideways to try to move the reds while you have the opportunity.
Yeah, I think you can probably make both reds go.
You can make them both move. I think the back one is jamming on that yellow at the back of the forefoot all day, but even that gives you a few more inches of room to get a rock in there later. This is all about, we've got last rock and we got no way to score right now. You got to open some room in that forefoot button area. He won't be light on this one.
Not light at all. Laura Walker trying to hold it out there. They do get them all moving, and they killed most of theirs, left one hanging around the back, but did unlock everything in the forefoot.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than it was, and it's still not great. Another chance for Yarmuch and Hlushak to get one to the top of the button behind cover. Basically needs the same shot he made on his last one, maybe 6 inches lighter.
Walker's been with this one the whole way off and on. She thinks it's pretty close. Just probably a little too light there, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not a terrible location. There's a draw available, but how do you ever score 2? So they're looking at playing some kind of run back. You pick your poison here. If you play the draw, you're probably never getting more than 1. You still could be in trouble if they make a good draw tap. I have to think the way that Kirk's been throwing. Well, no, he's going to opt for the draw. He was looking at the run, and I thought that's what he'd end up playing. There's an argument to be made to make sure that you have a shot for the last one. You make a good draw here. There's still the chance that Sarah Yarmuch comes down with her last one, taps it back to the back of the forefoot, and you might not have a shot to score. I'm not seeing any chance for 2, because even if you make a good one here, you're not going to have room to get a second one in.
So the final from Muyres is on the way.
A line should be good if the weight's good, but this is not curling, and that probably means it's heavy.
And it says, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and I'm going to go to bed. So Muyres still trying to figure out the draw weight here.
They tap top 8 here. I'd like to at least bite 4. It's hard to take the whole path away. If you leave her a chance to get full forefoot and cut you to 1, that's what Laura's going to play. You bite the top of the button, it's hard to not steal at least 2.
So final stone on the way from Laura Walker. Hlushak. Now trying to work it over. It's going to get to the 8-foot. Will it get to the 4-foot? Nope, just touching most of the 8.
there is probably room for Laura to get there for second shot. Is there a triple? That's what she's looking at, and there might be. The risk is you try it. It might jam at the back 12-foot one too, and it could still be giving up 3, maybe even 4. That's what they're looking at, the front 12 and back 12 rocks.
Yeah,
the triple's there. You want to hit the first, because you've got plenty of that first one. You want to hit it to catch about half a rock, maybe just a little more than half a rock on the center line side of the one biting the button. It'll catch the top half of the one then at the back 4 foot. So they should, if that's how you hit it, they should actually clear that rock at the back 12. And all 3 of these reds could go. You're going to lose the shooter, but that rock full 12 foot at the back could end up on the board, as could the one at the back 12, depending on who's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th shot right now. And I think it's the yellow. This would be another highlight shot if you could pull this off.
absolutely. Get your popcorn ready here. Laura Walker. Looking for the triple Lindy here. Final shot of the third end. Muyres with the head down and brushing. Going to catch it way too thick. And it's going to be a steal of 2. So Yarmuch and Hlushak take the 3-2 lead. We'll be back with end number 4 in just a moment.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Welcome back to the Saville Center. It was a steal of 2 in the third end for Sarah Yarmuch and Peter Hlushak. And there was a possible big shot there for Laura Walker, Sean, and just wasn't able to pull it off.
No, it was close. Just drove it by the second one. It would have had to been so a fair bit thinner on the first one to get all 3 of them, but it wouldn't have taken much more to get at least a double, and would have cut the end down a little bit more. It was a valiant effort, probably worth the attempt. The draw to cut them down to 1 wasn't easy.
That would have been quite a difficult draw indeed. So now we have the young team of Yarmuch and Hlushak trying to keep the pressure on, throwing the Redstones in the 4th. Working on past the guard. I really would like to get down all the way down to Shot Rock here. End up just a little bit short.
Not able to get by their own stone. There's a double available on those reds.
And I think that's one that you want to throw right now.
Yeah, because both of those rocks are in pretty good spots. And the one that was just thrown is probably in the better spot. It's hard to do anything about it without throwing the double. The question will be how hard do you want to throw it? Because you got to hit this off the nose. You could throw this quieter, not worry about killing the second stone. Just pop it out in the open and then keep your shooter in a usable spot as well. So if you just straight blast them out and roll away, you know they're playing the freeze again.
So Kirk Muyres gets on the way. Laura picks it up. Now off and on, back and forth, probably pretty close. They did elect for the lower weight. And they just kind of move it. They will kill one out the back.
Yeah, that's a good result because now they make the freeze and that red is sitting there. You can come off of it to kill the frozen stone.
Absolutely. To your point, there's a good look at it there on the overhead. It's a good experience call. Obviously, that these two have played a lot of doubles together.
Yeah, the youngsters had looked at the freeze first, and I think even from the far end, Peter said, "Well, that's I'm not sure I like what that's going to leave." I'm not sure what your choices are, though. I suppose you could. Well, you're facing two right now. If you don't bring something in,
You'll be facing four in a minute.
well, yeah, you could run the yellow in or even hit and roll off it, but that still leaves two against you, and there's still going to be a roll in off the red, even if you roll to covered. So they're going to play the freeze. This might be one where you're better off not to make it all the way down. No, he's running the guard back.
Very bold call.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming.
See how it works out. He does run it back. Opens up. Really want to plant that one though.
Yeah, it looks pretty, but it actually probably is giving up at least two now. You got hammer against you. There's plenty of room in the 4-foot. Kirk's going to hit this open redstone.
Yeah, the only world where that shot works is if you actually stick it. And that's so tough to do from that distance.
Well, and even then you're leaving a double to sit buried. So I'm not sure. Like it was a very high degree of difficulty for something that wasn't going to get you very much.
So now Muyres coming inside out. First time we've seen this turn thus far.
Yeah, I think on that shot, if they were determined to try to hit something, I would have played the slash on the yellow, and because there was a chance to get the triple if you're slashing the yellow. As it is, now you're facing three all spread out. You don't have last rock. There's no real good obvious freeze. The hit and roll off third shot is the easiest one to get buried, but I don't know that you'd even be second shot off that. So you probably got to hit the one.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to play the double here. The off the.
Oh, the flat double. Okay.
No, the straight back double.
Oh, the straight back one. Okay.
Get the one, and they make the double, lose the shooter, but that helps the math.
Yep. And there's nothing left for Kirk to hit. which has been a problem in this game when he has to stop one without something else to run into. This surprises me. They were looking at going open side, and I thought they'd just stick with that.
You potentially give your opponent an out here.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of ways too. If he's full 12 foot, it's basically a second guard for them to roll behind. If he ends up behind the tee line, they could freeze. And if he ends up straight across from the other one, he might leave a double. It's really tough to put this rock in a perfect position. There's not a ton of places it can be. Probably not bad there. I don't think they left enough of the inside of that rock to make the double. And if she makes the hit and roll underneath, it should be a short run.
So we'll be Sarah Yarmuch playing a little hit and roll, trying to make it as difficult as possible for their opponents. They're last of the fourth. Working on it to curl. They get the hit. Will they get enough roll? Only a sliver, so it's a pretty straightforward hit back for two.
I'm mildly surprised. It looks like Kurt's going to stay in the house for this one. With that amount of ice, I don't think she's throwing this particularly hard, so she'll be able to get up and sweep it herself.
Just want to make sure they have the line right here. They make their dues. They have a one-stone lead. After four, we'll be back with more. After this, you're watching Curling Stadium.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, The Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
And welcome back to the second half of this game. It is Laura Walker and Kirk Muyres holding a 1-star lead over Sarah Yarmuch and Peter Hlushak. Dave Schmel and Sean Joyce here with you this evening from the Saville Center in Edmonton.
And so close to seeing a rock go back there. It's something to remember in doubles. It's not a free guard zone. It's a free everything zone. So if that rock had gone through the rings, it would have gone back and the other stone would have been, oh, pardon me, that wasn't a tap. They went right by. Oh, wow, that's the shooter. Saw the end of that shot just as they were coming back, and I thought it was a tap, but no, she went right by it. Wow.
So basically a free stone here.
Yeah.
And that came a little deeper than he wanted. And it's going to give Kirk a chance to get out of this.
Well, and still in some trouble if you're Walker and Muyres here. Like, you got two against you at the back of the forefoot. You need a good one here, and Kirk's been struggling with his draw weight. He's got to find it here quick.
This is one they need.
Even full top four here, he doesn't necessarily need to be right down to them.
This one needs to keep moving, needs to turn a little bit more. Pretty good.
Yeah, he had good weight on that one. It didn't finish as hard as they might have liked, but
So they're going to throw a draw the other way.
yeah, they'd like to get to the center line side of that rock. It looks like they're going the same way, but they're going to try to cross it a bit. Well, that's not a good sign when she switches sides right away. Well, she switched back.
And switches back and switches back again.
See, that's more time.
And again. And again. And again. Can we get one more switch?
You got to figure it's close if you're switching that many times. Now, if in four-player, what you would have heard on the way down with that would have been curl, straight, curl, straight, curl.
Brings up a good story. I was playing with a friend of mine who just turned 78 the other day. And the World Series will be heading to a Game 7, ladies and gentlemen. The Dodgers just turned an outfield double play. And you've all done your shots now, so things should be moderately better. So
yellow shot. There's probably room on the outturn side.
Okay. You just want to kick
it. He looked to me like he was setting up for the in, but yeah, you could get to the outturn with the outturn side, get to your own. You only have to move it back a few inches. Wiggle that yellow. Even if you just line them up for now is not bad. Yeah, I don't think you need that to curl anymore. This should carve hard at the end. Yeah, that's really good. I'm not sure. I think the yellow's still shot, but Look at those reds. They're just queued up to make that yellow go.
Yeah, you can't feel good if you're Walker and Muyres right now.
You could chip the yellow at the top of the 4 onto the red at the top of the button, but it's hard to stick everything there. You're going to roll out and leave some way to get at that shot stone.
So, not a lot of really good options here, Sean.
No, I think one of the ones they were looking at is just come down, nose hit that red that was just thrown. Try to leave your yellow right there so that at least when they play something up onto it, it's going to have to be a yellow stone. That might be your best option right now.
So Kirk Muyres settles in. This one's going to make contact with that one just thrown. Shimmy things around a little bit. It does mess up the angles some.
Yeah, it might already be red sitting too, though. I think you can get to the nose of that yellow at the top of the 4-foot. And if you can get just slightly to the inside of it, you can probably move both of those yellows. You might lose the red at the very back of the 4-foot, but that would still leave you sitting 4.
So Peter Hlushak.
Yeah, he's not playing what I was looking at because that's not enough weight to make both yellows go. That
just wrecked the guard there.
Yeah, that was not a good shot. I don't know what he was looking at, but I mean, that's draw weight. You don't have a shot with draw weight there. Well, it's not without risk, but the red that was just thrown to clip the yellow pretty much straight sideways, you're probably killing the 2 reds at the top of the 4-foot. And if you can leave the yellow right there, you're still in pretty good shape. If it spins out, you're still probably giving up 3. Yellow onto red at the other side. If it would miss that one at the button, and it's really hard to tell from this camera angle, if it would miss the one at the top of the button and clip the one at the back of the button, that's a good result. But again, not sure it does. And if it catches the one at the top of the button, it's going straight sideways and probably moving both of those yellows. This shot's definitely there. Still not without some nervous moments here. the red onto the yellow and then touch the other two reds. That's pretty simple. The question is, where is the yellow going to go after it makes contact? Because it's going to be spinning a little bit. And if it spins back to corner on that yellow, it's pretty easy to make both of them go away.
So Laura Walker. Trying to better their position here.
Needs to stay a little bit on the high side of the red. It's good that way. Yeah, didn't make both reds go away.
So is there a shot for a zillion? It's probably 2 red right now.
Yeah. And I don't think, because you're going to make contact with the red, even if you can make a double on the yellows, it's still only for 3. You're going to lose 1 red. You can probably draw for 3.
I was looking for a second whether you could get past the center garden, hit the high one and make it triple, but that's not there.
No. The draw is there for 3.
Oh yeah.
Between the in-turn draw right to the face of your own rock. I'm looking at the overhead saying, yeah, it's there. Now you turn over and look at the hack in. It's not going to look great from the hacks, but it's there.
Definitely sometimes shots that don't look good.
They call timeout to talk about this. Well, now I'm wondering, who's got second shot? Like, if they're talking about it this long, do they think the yellow might be second? Because that changes things.
If we could get the really, really tight shot on the rings, I don't know if we have that on this sheet. There it is.
Well, it's closer than I would have thought, but I still think it's red.
I still think it's red too, Shawnee.
So I'm not sure what the timeout's about then. Because all I see is a draw for 3.
So after contemplation, and a fulfilling timeout.
Yeah, it's basically you're playing the come around, trying to dead bury on that guard right at the top of the button. If you've got the line to do that, that yellow stone in the 4-foot's not going to be in your way, but it's certainly in your eye as you're throwing this.
Final stone in the 5th end. Hlushak on this all day. Got to thread the needle here. You're past the high guard. Now you got to get right through the port. Oh, I think you had the line. You just didn't have the weight. So it's 1 for sure. Now let's take a closer look at it. And that was pretty quick. So it was definitely 2. Score of 2 for red. Make it 5-4. After 5, we'll be back with N6 after this.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
Hey Ben, what's the odds
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
And it's 6:10, and it's time for the power play. So why don't you take our newer viewers through the power play, Sean?
Well, the difference in the power play, each team gets the opportunity to use it once in a game. You have to exercise that option before the end starts when you've got last rock. So in this case, it is Walker and Muyres that have elected the power play. So that moves the rocks over to the corner. And there are several ways to defend that. If you think you need to steal, you might throw the center guard. It looks like in this case, Yarmuch and Hlushak elected to come to the middle anyway. You don't necessarily have to throw the guard first. That's one of the advantages of this format. You can't hit that rock just because it's in the top of the 4 foot. So they come to the top of the 4 foot first, and now they're looking at guarding it. Yeah, the one thing I will say is if you've decided to come to the center first, it's pretty risky to try to chase to the corner now. I've seen a couple of teams already today in this situation. They would have thrown the corner freeze on the first one to try to take the corner away. They're going to play it now.
Absolutely. The first two games I had Corey and Corey, and they always played the push shot on their guard into the center.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but we see it a lot. I've talked about it in an earlier draw today. It's interesting to me that is a shot that has actually found its way over to 4-player curling, but it originated in doubles. That tick shot from the corner guard trying to push it into the house.
And they are coming around the corner.
Yeah, going to be chipping off the yellow. That's not ideal.
Yeah. Going to give them an opportunity to hide a third one underneath the corner.
Yeah.
This is the things that big ends are made of.
Well, and it's risk-free too, right? Like the middle's always going to be open. They've committed now that they're not going to throw a center guard. It is tough to make a perfect center guard on ice that curls this hard too. You leave it too high, you can chase around it. You're too tight, it's a double. And of course, anything offline, you can get to the rock in the rings.
Oh, Kirk made a pretty good one there.
Yeah, I think you're running the guard back. You're committed by the way you've started this end that you've got to try to play some defense now.
Now,
if you miss everything,
yeah, go ahead.
If you miss everything, there's a triple available. So Walker and Muyres probably have to guard. So that keeps them from throwing the next one in the rings. But if you can make contact with the yellow, I shouldn't say there's necessarily a triple. It's not automatic, but because the two yellows at the top are lined up to go past, it's just if you hit it right, it's going to drag onto that third one.
So Peter's coming with some heft here.
Oh, does not want to hit this on the outside. Oh, got away with it. Touched his own, but didn't lose it. Yeah. Well, almost didn't. That's what I was worried about. You hit it on the outside, but he caught the yellows and then touched his own. So probably have to now if you're Kirk, you probably have to make a play on that red, and it's tough not to leave a double opportunity here. Well, you could ignore it and straight draw, but that's a little risky too. The risk in going open side is they can hit the yellow in the middle, and eventually you're going to have to make a double. Whereas right now you don't have to make a double. You could just hit one at a time, and if they make a double back at you, you're still going to have a shot for 2. If they don't ever make the double, you're going to have a shot for 3.
So they had looked at chasing
about it.
Yeah, they had looked at chasing it from the open side of the stone, electing instead to use their own. They will be able to generate a little bit of a different angle. Be interesting to see how it ends up.
There's still no way they're not leaving some kind of double. Oh no, they're playing this. This is the draw.
Oh,
they did go back to the draw. Okay. Yeah, that might be a little too deep. It still leaves a double opportunity. And now you're going to have to make a double back to sit 2. Would have liked that a rock's width higher.
Muyres getting closer with the draw weight. Still just not quite there yet. So Peter Stone on the way. Get the 1, work on over, make the double. Does leave the short double back.
Well, the good news for Walker and Muyres, you make this double. The house is well split. And it's going to be next to impossible not to stop them from, or to stop them from getting a deuce. He does not have the double.
This is just a nose hit and roll up.
Gets away with it though, because where he stayed with his shooter, you can't get that without rolling out, and then it's still going to be a shot for the deuce.
So they're going to have to play the open stone and concede the shot back.
Yeah.
And holding your opponent to a deuce when they're taking their power play isn't the worst outcome.
True. And I expect we're going to see the other one right behind it. It'll be Yarmuch and Hlushak probably playing their power play on the next end.
Just going to be a straight draw to the 4 here. So Laura Walker has 1 in her pocket. Needs to stick this draw in to get their deuce. Final stone of the 6th. She's just cleaning it, giving a little inspection here and there. Seems to be pretty happy with it. With pretty good reason, it's just fine. Put 2 on the board for yellow. They have a 6-5 lead. Probably seeing a power play when we come back after this.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, The PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Welcome back to the Saville Center. It's power play time again here at the Saville Mixed Doubles Classic. This time will be Sarah Yarmuch and Peter Hlushak trying to respond to the deuce that Walker and Muyres just picked up. Dave Schmel and Sean Joyce here with you. Thank you so much for joining us on Curling Stadium. Be sure to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. We have all the action from every sheet all weekend long at this event. So now we're going to get to see how they handle their power play, Sean.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to guess with the rock sitting in the back corner, they tried the
push
I'm not
shot.
sure. Well, I'm guessing they were trying the push shot, except the stone in the rings is not where it would have been pre-positioned, so they must have touched it on the way by. Maybe tried the push shot, missed the yellow altogether, and just touched the red one on the way by.
So now here's Muyres and
playing the chase now around the corner.
did not get shot rock out of it.
No, overcurled a little bit.
They're going to look to corner the one just thrown. This one appears to have plenty of weight.
Yeah, he doesn't want to bounce off here.
This
needs to dig in.
Sit down. Did not, and ooh.
That's a slash double to get out of trouble.
That's the worst place it could have ended up, Shawnee.
Yeah, there was an argument to drawing to the other side. Now, granted, you draw to the other side, you're probably only ever getting two. And you have to think of the way this game has gone. Two is probably not enough. You'd like to try to get three. Even if this double's made, you're still going to have, there's rocks left in to go. You've still got time to set up two again.
Kirk Muyres kicks out. This one is being swept hard for the line. They hold it. They hold it just enough. Can they hold the shooter? Can they hold the shooter?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't need to hold the shooter. Probably better not to. They're going to play a corner freeze here, and if you end up blasting stuff and that shooter had stuck on the corner back there, that's a rock that might have prevented you from being able to squeeze this one out. Still rocks to work with on the corner. It's risk-free. You know you're going to have the middle to score. One good corner freeze here, and you're right back into good shape to get a deuce.
So Peter Hlushak.
This is curling a lot earlier.
This one is also heavy, Sean.
Yeah,
Get behind it now if you can. Oh,
kind of got caught in between. I think it started to curl earlier, and they were worried about over curling it, and it's just a little bit strong as well. Now it's getting tough to set up too, because she hits and Kirk hits and rolls to the back of the forefoot now, and it's really tough to ignore that to throw one more draw to the corner.
yeah, probably had to bail that shot and take it deep.
Actually, if he doesn't rub, I'm not sure it stops in time to be shot rock.
In that you have a point.
This is quieter than I thought he'd be throwing.
And he quietly makes it.
Yeah, but he's left room for them to get to that stone and roll to the corner for shot rock.
So they're going to take a look at it.
Yeah, Kirk really wanted to roll to the center line there. Then this shot's not available. But I think it's there now. You play the hit and roll. You can be buried and still be shot rock. You're making contact, where the back end of your rock is. When you make contact with the yellow, you're still about 7 inches in front of the tee line. As you roll across, you might split the tee line, but if you're dead behind that yellow stone at the 8-foot, splitting the tee line, you're going to be closer to the middle. You don't have a ton of extra room when you need to make the perfect roll there, but there's a shot.
So working their way down, trying to get this hit and a little roll now, trying to get a little bit of curl out of it. Just going to hit it on the nose.
Yeah, that was a lot of weight to try to make the roll behind.
And this becomes pretty elementary now.
Well, yeah, depending on what you want to do with this. Because here's the thing. I think we're going to see a decision. In fact, they're already talking about it back there. Do you hit and roll out and give up one here? In doubles play? Like tied up without, it's not great. Look at the number of deuces that have already been scored in this game.
And nary a steal. Take a look at some of the other scores. They're a little slow to update the scores here, but through 4, we have the other Yarmuch and Saville over Muyres and Wheeler 5-3. Richard Davies 5-1 over Calk McAlpine. Cinnamon and Tal 4-3 over Yerker Mason Wood. Gray Withers Pietrangelo 6-4 over Duncan Keenan.
For Laura Walker, if she can, she'd like to cross it a little bit. And the only thing is, I think she's rolling straight into the side of the yellow. I don't think there's any way to get even a piece underneath it. But you give it a try, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's right into the side of it, so they can still hit it.
So decision time here.
Yeah, you have to be a little careful with where it is, because if you blank the end, you lose the hammer. So if you're trying to hit the yellow and roll out, and you ever hit it thin, if it ever clipped that second yellow, it could be a blank and you'd lose the hammer. So they might have forced them to take one here.
Walker and Muyres are content to just be spectators right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no bad result for them on this shot. It looks like she's playing the straight out turn draw.
Final stone of the 7th end. Pick this up right out of her hand. To Peter Hlushak. It's got to go. It's got to go. Can he drag it there? Can he drag it there? He's going to need a piece of the 4-foot. They're not going to even get the rings. That's a steal of 2 for Walker and Muyres. They'll have a 3-stone lead coming home. We'll be back from Saville. You're watching Curling Stadium.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Welcome back to the Saville Center. It's the 8th end. And it's Sarah Yarmuch and Peter Hlushak really need to find a way to make something happen here, Sean.
They do. To that end, they've got as much help as they could ask for early as Laura Walker comes up short, leaves them a second guard. So they're coming around to sit 2 with their first stone to the end. They need 3 to tie here. You'd like to get this in the front of the 4-foot so they can't just come down to it and take both of them away. He's sweeping it to curl, but this needs to stop. This it's too deep. Yeah, I see that all the time in 4-player play too. They're so worried about making it curl, they forget that, sweep in tends to make them go farther too. That rock had to be in the front of the 4-foot. Front of the 8-foot would have been okay. But anywhere where Kirk can freeze and take those 2 rocks away, it's just not a good shot.
And, well, Kirk, if you were going to find a draw weight, that was a good time to do it. Left a little bit of air, though. So they're going to have to corner on that.
Well, yeah, they're going to have to corner on it, but then you're going to see Kirk smash something. That yellow just outside of the rings, it's at a good angle to bring in. If he hits the one you're about to freeze with, it works. If he drives it onto the yellow's going back into the 2 reds back there, that works too. And if you don't happen to get right down to the face of it, they could just draw again.
This one skitters just on by. Oh, no.
He's smashing the outside of that, and 2 of them go for sure.
And the one on the back of the button is going to start moving sideways. I don't know how far it goes, though.
Well, that's the thing. Kirk can throw the weight. You hit half a rock on the outside of that red. All three of them are going to move. It's possible they all leave the rings.
I think there's a real shot of it. Kirk Muyres looking to get the red out. Walker just watching it come on down. Moving 1, 2, 3.
Only one of them left the rings.
Only one left the rings, and you spread out the other one. So
he did leave. The one at the tee line is a rock they could come off of later, too, though. They needed a little more Visine on that shot.
They did not get the red out. So let's see how many times we switch here. That's one.
This is probably the only switch because that's got to curl a ton.
It does indeed. And well, this one's, well, not too bad, but there's still a shot.
I think you have to hit the open one and try to roll into the back of the 4-foot. Even if you roll away, well, they're going to play the freeze. The thing is, if you hit the open one and roll a bit, it eliminates, of course, the one you hit and the one in the back 12. The best they can ever do at that point in time is tie, and they still have to move that yellow stone on the button without leaving some kind of a hit. You leave this in the wrong area, and it's a squeeze to get the two yellows out. This has got to curl a ton too.
It is starting to move now. And they get right just a little bit past the nose.
We've got 3 stones left, so hard to move those now.
And they're going to call timeout. The coach is going to meander around.
If you could get tight enough by the guard to make a play on the yellow, red, and then you'd have to kill the back yellow or there's no point in playing it. And I'm not sure you can do that. I mean, if you could kill the back yellow and leave 4 reds in the rings, then I'm not sure what they could even hit and not give you some kind of shot. I'm just not sure you can do it. It's not going to look good from the hacks. You got to get close to the nose on that yellow with enough weight to kill the back one. I don't know if you'd ever play it, but you could play the run now too.
I was just going to bring that up, yeah.
If you could kill all 3 yellows and leave all 3 reds in the rings, there's no obvious doubles on the reds either. It looks like they're talking about just jiggling the ones in the middle. I'm just not sure how you leave the yellows where you can double them after that. That's why I think if you're going to play this, you have to kill one of them now. If you don't kill one of them now, you have to leave them doubleable. And there's still then the issue that if Laura Walker hits and stays with their next one, you might need a triple that just isn't going to be there. That's got to be the run back with an out turn.
Hlushak Lots of rotation here. With the run back, straight back. And you kill your own along the way. So hit the open one and game, set, match here.
Yeah, don't even have to stay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was tough to not do that.
Well, I'm not sure that's the one I would have run back, to be honest. But
yeah,
you didn't want to stick it on the first yellow. You had to hit it a little to the other side of that yellow so that it drags the red a little bit more, and the red's still going to pop open. But if you sit second, third, and fourth, and only one yellow stays, because then the raised stone would roll, then Laura Walker's got to be real careful not to leave a double. I think it was probably the right call, and he was very close to making it. But when you're running a stone that far back, that's that's probably a quarter of an inch at point of contact.
So Laura Walker
actually needed to run they didn't sweep it, and if anything, you needed to hit it just a little bit, that quarter inch thinner.
Her final stone there takes it out, and it will be handshakes and a final score of 8-5 in favor of Laura Walker and Kirk Muyres. And they will grab that win and keep on playing.
Big win for Walker. And Muyres moves him to 1-1 for Yarmuch and Hlushak at 0-2 now. Definitely need to win their last two, and then probably need help. I don't know. Of course, we don't know what the draw to the button scores look like, but that's usually the tiebreaker. So that's what they're looking at now. They're going to have to win out and then hope that they've got a good draw to the button score.
We'll be back here on Curling Stadium tomorrow morning with more action from the Saville Center. That will pick up at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, 12 o'clock Eastern. We'll have TC Dropkin versus Kim Jong. You can join me for that. And we'll have Gray Withers, Pietrangelo with versus Papley Van Amsterdam. Terry and Rory will have the call on that. But for right now, for Sean Joyce and Kelly on the production, I'm Dave Schmel. Thanks so much for watching Curling Stadium. Have a pleasant evening.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk? And I'll add spinach and ginger. And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.